All right, so I'm gonna introduce Fernando just for a little bit of a backstory. Fernando reached out to us early on with originally it was going to be called a Bitcoin Beach Brazil project, and so it was in the early days after they kind of made the decision to make legal tender in El Salvador. I think it was after the legal tender. And we were getting a lot of requests from different people and didn't know who was serious, and so we kind of made Fernando prove himself and kind of held back really getting involved, and he was just persistent. He and he just started making things happen there in Brazil in Jericoacoara, and was relentless with trying to get us down there, and so we could tell that he was the real deal. I loved the way that he would organize and put all the things that they had set out to accomplish and what they accomplished and what they failed to accomplish and the accountability that it was there and the way he structured it. And Fernando has just been one of those guys that just keeps going. So sometimes I have to tell him that, hey, Fernando, one step at a time. You're not going to conquer the whole world in one day. And my favorite thing to tell him is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. But it's been a privilege to work alongside him, to be able to go down and participate with the conference that he's done. He's been a huge help to us technically when we've been having technical issues. The everything that he's done with the Bitcoinizer, the machines with the tap cards, has been amazing to see how he's kind of revolutionizing the whole space with that, and going to Dubai to set up his company there and going to conferences for us. And so anyways, Fernando, why don't you come on up and tell us a little bit about the history of Praia Bitcoin, and then we can talk about the Bitcoinize project and some of the other things.
Of course, Mike, thank you for the great introduction. I am very glad to be here speaking for this nice audience. And I would like to invite Eric, that is working for me here with me here in Praia Bitcoin, to be a speaker as well. And very fast to just introduce
Hey, Fernando, what's Eric's Twitter handle?
Eric Linhares.
Okay.
Is Linhares/Eric.
All right, I've invited him up.
So very fast, in 2021, when Bitcoin became legal tender in El Salvador, I started to, replicate the Bitcoin Beach initiative here in Brazil. So in the beginning, I set up a small node. I start to run my node BTC with BTC Pay Server, LNBits, and a lot of Lightning tools during this period. And onboarding some merchants, I started also to do some community work, fixing the computers on the school, helping them to connect to the lab. And before running the experiment in the beginning, I was looking for this guidance, and this guidance come when I got the Bitcoin Beach white paper, and it helped us to set up a small circular economy here by doing all kinds of different aspects of a circular economy. Uh, uh, Offering some training for the local users, for the merchants, the tools as well. So we did the conference in February of 2023, and it was, I think, the real beginning of our circular economy, because when we attracted a lot of tourists here and they saw the potential of Jericoacoara as a place to Bitcoiners live or visit, or spend some time here. So we create something huge with help of Bitcoiners worldwide, They start to donate to our campaigns to support our work, offering fruits for the kids, and also building these tools that we created, and that's it. Uh, are you guys listening me well? My
Yeah, yeah,
connection.
yeah. We can
Okay.
hear you, Fernando, but give it a little more details on everything.
Okay. So, like in the beginning, the main issue for us was to get, uh, traction, to get the adoption here. So in the beginning, the tools wasn't ready yet because the lighting was in the beginning. And then when I learned how they did in El Salvador using Blink and another tools as Wallet of Satoshi as well, we started to use that tools, but by using that tools only, we it was impossible to offer for the our users without mobile phones the right tools to use Bitcoin on a daily basis. So I created the paper wallet to help the kids get in touch with a real Bitcoin. So I create a code to get the Ian Coleman script and generate the keywords, the mnemonic phrases for the wallet, and then generate a file to print that wallet, and we cut and seal it, and it all is done in a offline computer. So we gave to the kids on the school that paper wallet, and after that, to enable them transact in the daily basis, we start to use the bolt cards. So the bolt card is a plastic card with a chip inside, any tag 424 DNA, that every time you tap it, you get a new signature. So, and this was game changing because by giving these cards with sets for the kids, hosted in your local nodes, and having a NFC device in the merchants, it was possible to make these kids without mobile phones to use Bitcoin as money in the community. So we start to spread this concept to share. All we did is available in our repository on GitHub, and after running the experiment for 2 years, in November of 2023, we launched no in June of 2023 we launched the crowdfunding campaign of Bitcoinize. It's a POS machine that is optimized to receive Bitcoin payments. So it has several wallets installed on it, and these wallets are, mainly the wallets that are used to receive Bitcoin payments. So it's basically Android phone with an NFC printer attached, and then it was the most successful project on Jazer Fund. We sold and distributed around 700 machines worldwide, and now there are machines in 32 countries.
So I think you left a little bit early last week when we were doing the spaces with the folks from Costa Rica, but they were giving you big props. They said that the Bitcoinized machines that they've been using there in Costa Rica have really had a huge impact. So that's what I love. It's not just that you've been doing this for your own project in Brazil, but you've been impacting all the other circular Bitcoin economies that are out there.
So here in Brazil, we have a very huge market for Bitcoin, and thanks for the work that Eric did with me with Bitcoinized machine by setting up the company, helping me to establish the supply chain of the machine, and also giving me legal support to walk through the vampires and don't do anything wrong. Bit, So we started to inspire other communities in the conference that we did in February of 2023 in the carnival. Some people attended here the conference, and then after it, they started their own circular economies in other places, as Lucas of Montanha Bitcoin and Ricardo of Bitcoin Rolante. So it was inspired in that tools, in that way that we did here, but they created their own models. But as Eric, I would like to invite Eric to talk a little bit. But as we always talk about our work here, it's like we are making good use of Bitcoin. We are cleaning the image that Bitcoin has in Brazil, that is a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme, and we are changing it by buying fruits, paying workers, buying, helping entrepreneurs and the kids to learn. So it's like a work that is very inspiring, because our inspiration is like doing the same. And we think that by following the Bitcoin Bit guidance, we did a great job here. Also, Bitcoin Jungle, Lee Saltman of Bitcoin Jungle is here. He arrived today in our place here, and tomorrow we are going to have the pizza day, and we are going to deploy 150 bolt cards for the kids. So
That's really cool. Fernando, I think it would be nice for the people that are here if you can explain why Jericho Cara, Jericho Cara, Cara, and why also that you explain what is Jericho Cara, because it's a beautiful place. I think is have been one of the most beautiful places we have been with Mike.
Okay. So hi, Roman. Jericoacoara it's a small village inside of a national park, 300 kilometers from the capital of the state of Ceará, Fortaleza. It's surrounded by dunes, and it's known as the kite surf paradise. During July and December, the high season, the wind is very good for kite surfing, windsurfing, and also for longboard. So the beach is very safe. The place is very safe. It's surrounded by beautiful attractions and lakes, and it's like a oasis. Washington Post in 2000, and few years ago, they elected Jericoacoara one of the 10 most beautiful beaches on the planet. And by living here for more than 4 years, I see this place as a point to reconnect to yourself with uh, your higher self, have a place to rebuild your health and have a better life, a better quality of life. So when I moved from São Paulo to Jericoacoara, was a really change, and everything on my life was changed because of that. And then I am in love until now with this place, because it's very safe, and the weather is perfect. The wind is always flowing. Just in the low season, it's not flowing so much, but it's nice. It's not so expensive. So here, I think, when I saw this small village of fishermen and a tourist place, I created this link with El Zonte, 3,000 inhabitants and fishermen, and in a remote location, surf. So I created, and we are the Bitcoin Beach Brazil somehow, because as El Zonte for the kite surf, here in the case of Jericoacoara, there's no other place as Jericoacoara to make the sport. So it's a very special place. Okay.
I think it's a good answer.
So maybe if Eric can introduce
Oh, for
himself
sure.
and talk a little bit. This guy helped me to, you know, like establish a lot of things that are running here today without take unnecessary risks. And for someone who wants to start a circular economy, it's very important to be surrounded by people that know the laws, know how to play the games, because if you make a mistake, maybe your entire community can be, you know,
Pay the price.
can be a huge consequence. So talk a little bit, Eric.
Hello, everybody. My name is Eric, of course. I'm a stock market and merger and acquisitions lawyer. Uh, Also graduated in accountant, uh, financial structures, economics, and is like administrator too, as we say, a management. Uh, so during the beginning, I was presented by a common friend to Fernando Motolese, and then I started to talk with him to feel uh, how was his style as a professional, trying to understand. He's a producer, he's a musician, he's an IT guy, he's an entrepreneur, and after that part, I started to hear about his ideas, and of course about Bitcoin, which was a subject that he was studying and working that time. Okay, so after that, I advised Fernando. Okay, Fernando, I understood your ideas. Fernando talked a lot about Bitcoin Beach and Mike for me too. And I started to study this initial concept because in the beginning I wasn't a Bitcoiner. So I needed to study a lot of things uh, in order to help Fernando to organize all his ideas, and to establish in a practical way all about this. Uh, so basically, when he explained all the subjects to me, I idealized two parts. Okay, so in the beginning was a social project as a circular economy, uh, and in the other part, I call like the private part. But the two parts, the social part, which is the circular economy and the social project by itself, is very connected with the private part, which is the Bitcoinized company, which produces and try to bring improvements all the time in the machine. I made this division with Fernando uh, by several reasons. One of the reasons was legal reasons. The second reason was uh, how can I say to be more organized, like in a structure. When we face the structure, we see okay, there is here a circular economy, and then we have in the other part a company which developed develops IT solutions, IT, how can I say, machines. Uh, so it was very much more easier for us to handle all these when all these concepts were established and very well organized. So, for example, in the beginning of this meeting that we are having now, I heard a lot of words of Mike in the sense, uh, how can I say, explaining, oh, Fernando is very organized. Fernando is doing a very good work. I love the way how he organized and he quickly make the movements to develop all his ideas. So in this part, uh, I have a lot of experience, like 2 decades of experience in business, let's say like this. So it permitted me to help Fernando in this area because I saw that Fernando was a very creative guy. He's he has an entrepreneur style too, but in the other part, he needed my help in this legal and organized, I say, like analytical problems. And I'm very happy now to stay here in this meetup, hearing that this work is working very well. I would like to thank Lucas, which was in Montanha Bitcoin, because Lucas helped us a lot too. So Montanha Bitcoin is a very good partner of us in all these concepts. And I'm very happy about all the things I'm hearing here during this meetup. I think it's it.
So at the end, Eric is our sniper. He's help us to focus in the right things because like now we are helping Uganda to set up the school to save the Starlight School, that school that is was closing, and then we are helping them to make all renovations necessary to not close the school, right? So Eric, I call Eric and say, look, what we need to do, how the agreement needs to be made. So at somehow, or this, what we are doing here in Brazil for Praia Bitcoin, is helping other projects, and I hope with help of Scott, somehow the federation incorporate this idea to support the circular economies in a level that the administrative level, the legal level, the all kinds of structures that we can provide support for the circular economies, because this support was essential for our growth. Without this support, would be impossible to me to create the company in Dubai, to help the school in the right way, to make the IRS things, that are very difficult to set up the companies that we need to operate things. So if you intend to create a circular economy, I recommend you to have a legal advice and have someone that can take care of the legal aspects, because you can create something big, something beautiful, but if you make a mistake, it can cost the entire project. So you need to be protected for bad actors, or you need to know the law. So I need to thank you, Eric and Lucas, as well, because we we did here, and we are doing here uh, a teamwork. It's not just me, and all donors that support us, and Bitcoin Jungle, and also Bitcoin Kampala, Bitcoin Suriname, all circular economies that are collaborating with us, validating our tools, and somehow we are a family.
Yeah,
Fernando,
Fernando. Sorry. Go ahead.
can you talk a little bit more about the Fruit for Sats program? And I know that's something that's being done in other places, and you mentioned it, but there might be people in here that don't know what that is.
It's mute for me.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, it's not my. You can speak. I just said
He asked us to explain more about Fruits for Sets program.
Fruits for Sets program. So, my child was studying in the Jericoacoara Public School, and the meal in the school was really poor. So I said we need to do something. And then I talked with the director to the school, saying, okay, we need to improve the meal of the kids. And he said, no, we cannot do anything. And then one day I said, okay, we have the boat cards, we have the POS machines on China, we need somehow to implement this here and give boat cards to the kids and get donations to buy the fruits, and it will also help our circular economy to grow. And let's deliver the fruits for the kids, give cards with sets to them, and they will start to buy these fruits for 10 sets. So I started by doing this in November of 2022, and then until today, we are doing it not only here, but in Uganda as well, in São Tomé das Letras, and there are other places in Suriname that eventually they do the same program. Is basically you get the raw fruit without any treatment, orange, bananas, apples, mangoes, and then the maximum that you can do is cut a slice, and then you can give cards to the fruits, or if you don't have any card, you can have only one card and a mobile phone with NFC attached or a Bitcoinized machine, and then you can teach the kids to buy these fruits for 10 sats, and then that's it. It's uh, this is the program Fruits for Sats.
I may complement some words of Fernando because uh, maybe can look like easy just to buy fruits and put available for the community. But during all the days which Fernando and our team they lead this process to buy fruits and put available to the community, we face a lot of challenges, mainly working with people, which sometimes is like poor people, non-educated people in basic tasks. Uh, they have difficulties and problems. So we needed like to create a methodology in order to give minimum education, Bitcoin education, to explain how to use the tools and the cards and the machine, and even to structure the way which the person buy the fruits in the stores, because we had problems even in simple things like this. So when we talk about circular economies, Bitcoin economies, a person which wants to establish since the beginning will face all these problems. In the beginning, I didn't understand very well about the white papers. But now, working with Fernando and Lucas, I understand the importance of these papers and other stuffs which may unite these informations, because people which wants to establish circular economies will face all these problems. It's just like this.
Yes, so I try to sell the project as an easy thing to do. In the beginning, it was I bought the fruits, I went to the school, I delivered the fruits, I did the cards, but now as a professional operation, it is helping us to track the expenses, to have a better system, to make weekly payments for the merchant who sell the fruits. So it is helping us to establish a real circular economy. There's a real need of the community, and the kids love the fruits. It changed their lives. They have access to the nutrients that they should have in their school, but they don't have it. So it helps the community to see Bitcoin as a real tool. It's like it's and the parents of the kids, they get impressed because after that, after every day get fruits in the school and we go there, so they create this habit to go to the supermarket and ask for the fruits. So this is why we recommend for everyone that wants to run the program to not make a fruit salad or something fancy or strawberries and things like that. No, man, the simple fruits and the continuity of the delivery to every day is more important than the to have the most expensive fruits. That's it.
Uh, Before we open the questions, would be good to hear, Fernando, from you guys. What's your plans? What's next for
I
you
think
as
I'm
a
having some internet issues. Can you guys hear me?
I can't
Yeah,
I I can't hear you, Roman. Maybe I will leave and back. Let's see if I can't listen you.
I can hear you,
Can you hear
Mike.
me now?
I can hear you,
What?
Roman. I can hear you, Mike, as well.
Okay.
Okay. No, I was
Um,
saying
I think
go
that
go.
I don't know, Fernando. I know you guys have been working on a project to have kind of a center there in Jericoacoara, and I know it hasn't been easy, and there's been some headaches you guys have run into. Do you want to talk about that at all?
are you hearing, Fernando?
I think Fernando left and he's coming back. Let me invite
Yeah.
him up again to stage.
Can you hear us, Eric?
Yeah, yes, I am hearing. I can,
Yeah,
how can I say,
I can.
give
I wanna
introductory.
ask. I wanna ask a question on top of that, Mike. Is if you guys can talk a little bit about what's next for Praia Bitcoin. Where are you guys
Hey,
focused now? Where are the
Fernando,
projects?
can can you hear us
Yes,
now? Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Now I am listening. Wow.
One of these years they're gonna fix Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
So
I
the plan for this year, that was the question,
yeah
right?
yeah,
yeah.
the next steps.
Okay, the next steps. Okay, now we are in our crowdfunding campaign. Everything that was planned is there. So our first goal is to establish the new community center. We rented a kind of hotel with several spaces, and the idea is to create a co-working space, a stage for the conference in November, and for other presentations, a recording studio to make our podcast, host some volunteers, and the
Cultural
idea,
event.
cultural events as well. And the idea is we are working also to create a kind of Bitcoin community bank to run some operations that are needed for the community that this is holding in the desk of the someone in the government. And we also want to make the Bitcoin Smiles, replicate Bitcoin Smiles. So we are negotiating with Dr. Enrique to bring him here. I have a contact with I have a place here for a nice room for a dentist. So I talked with Dr. Henrique during the Bitcoin Atlantis. So the idea is we have several locals here without teeth, right? And the government don't cover it. So we want to replicate the Bitcoin smiles and keep running the fruits for sets, and that's it. That's our plans for this year.
I may complement again. Fernando had the idea that community has to be engaged with the project. So when we were discussing this, the way we thought to solve this problem was rent this kind of hotel or big local and start to do there, uh, how can I say, uh, events which community likes to be much more engaged. So, for example, we still don't have the entire plan, but we know that if we establish there activities that the community likes a lot, community will start to go there more frequently. And this will bring Bitcoin to the heart of community, not only in a financial way, but as a transformation tool. The Fruit Sets program is already a transformation program, but it may be improved. And we are trying to improve this in the future, creating all these things that Fernando said. A production center for artists, musicians, maybe, how can I say, theater acts over there, uh, be a local of health improvement too. This is the dentist program and other kind of stuff. So people in the community will see there as how can I say, uh, as a community local, you know,
A
and
beacon, the Bitcoiner says, a beacon of hope.
okay, I pass the word to Fernando. Fernando may explain better than me this part.
Yes, because like the community here, they don't believe in Bitcoin. They don't want to know about it. But the kids, when you teach the kids and the merchants in the other side, they start to okay, use it. But the philosophy behind the Bitcoin Beach experiment and the Bitcoiners' philosophy is much more than that. It's freedom, is
Peaceful
like
revolution.
peaceful revolution, privacy, and other like very economics, computers, and network, and everything that Bitcoin teaches you, we are trying to incorporate here in that place. So Bitcoiners really soon will be able to visit us and use that infrastructure to learn and to help us to improve the tools that we already did and share it with the world because we started by get that we got that idea of Bitcoin Beach, and now that idea we forked it, and somehow we are giving back to the entire world what we are doing here. So at some point we are going to establish what I say is this guide with the Bitcoin Beach box. It's a box with everything that you need to Bitcoinize your city: the cars, the machines, the stickers, the signage for the merchants, the servers, the training, the infrastructure, the batteries, the solar power, the plan to from the scratch with a small computer and with cheap investment you can start your community in a sovereign way, because by doing your community in this way, uh, now the community council, it's full of energy. All community is learning every day, all spaces are occupied. So now by moving to the hotel, because the community council is ready, the node was there for 2 years. So now with the hotel we are going to go to the another level. We are going to do prepare be prepared for the tourists, and also to using art and events, uh, teach people about the philosophy as well.
A very important point, uh, which I advised Fernando, is what I call the power game of the vampires. And I will try to explain to you and unite with all these things that Fernando said. When we create very good things in the community, like this, a cultural center, a health center, uh, how can I say, tourist center, Bitcoin and financial based education, uh, uh, activities for the kids, several activities. We are creating like such good things, which if a government people, vampire people, bad people from the government or police or justice, they want to attack it, it will be very difficult. So we also work behind, in the background of all these ideas, the power game, jointly with journalists. So, for example, if we create this circular Bitcoin economy, uh, giving the community all these good things and giving a face of it in journals, for example, when a government bad people or police or justice comes to attack you, he will think like twice. You know, when Fernando says having legal protection is important, is because you can give in all this package legal protection too. So you give legal protection, you give power game protection. So it's very, how can I say, protected. The creation of the bank. Uh, I know that some people may say, "Oh, it's a bank, it's against Bitcoin," but I explained to Fernando what. Uh, this structure naturally uh, is conducting us to some improvements, and when we see that these micro operations in Bitcoin are getting more complex because we are constructing all this package with all these stuffs, uh, I know that may these government people and these bad people, they may try to attack us in the financial way, because this is the combat, the classic fight between Bitcoin and the classical financial model, So I said to Fernando, okay, we may create like an intermediary structure which does not exists yet in the entire world, trying to give peace between these different worlds, the classical financial and the Bitcoin model, trying to give protection to these micro operations in the circular economy. We still don't have all the ideas in how to structure all the areas, but we see this like a good idea. Okay, we may try. We
Yeah,
don't know.
Galloy in the beginning, Eric, they created this article called "The Lessons Learned Running Bitcoin as a Community Bank." And the idea of the community bank, since the beginning, was to take care of small amounts of Bitcoin, have small limits of operation, help the people. It's this structure is needed as a learning tool, and we call it as a bank, but actually, when you talk about banks, you talk about a lot of operations that the community bank will never do. So the community bank has this role to educate the community only, and to have this the custody of the local nodes, to onboard the merchants, to because the new tools, you can use third-party software to create your circular economy, as they successfully did in Holanti. For example, they are using CoinOS, and they onboarded 200 merchants in 100 days. But the node running the community, and the what I learned by running that node and taking care of it, is that it's a new financial system emerging. There's a new kind of it's a decentralized visa. With Lightning, we can be the entire payment provider of the entire city. So what we did in Atlantis with BTC Pay Server and Blink, 2 BTC in 2 days, running the Bitcoinized machines and the same infrastructure that we have here. So the idea of the community bank is to allow some kinds of operations, and if there's a business that is, let's buy the Bitcoin from the community and hold it forever. So if we can get investors that agree with that idea, and we can create a bank with no fractional reserve, with proof of reserves, 100%, with the community custody, with multi-sigs. So maybe can be a solution. But the discussion between me and Eric, I need to be like as decentralized as possible, and sometimes we need to centralize to decentralize after. So we are in this fight, seeing that, but now our document is holding the hands of the politics. So we cannot do anything about the bank right now. Just build the tools and give the people freedom to choose what they want, and then learn Bitcoin. That's the solution.
Yeah, definitely.
So we are
Very
doing
important.
it,
Yeah, go
but
ahead, Fernando.
somehow, maybe by the end of the year, we are going to know if the community bank will be established or not.
Super important aspects
Any other question, Roman, Paco,
to take into
Mike,
consideration.
Lucas,
Yeah, if anyone
Lorena?
has a question, Lucas, do you want to say something? Go ahead. And
Yeah. Before we go to Lucas, let's open into the questions. Just guys, make sure that the questions are relating to Praia Bitcoin
I am
Brasil.
not listening, Roman.
The questions, they are opening for questions now.
Okay. I can't. I am not listening, Roman. Anyway.
can you hear me, Fernando?
Roman is telling, are you hearing me?
No, I am not hearing you.
Mm,
I
He's
will.
not.
I will leave and back again.
Wow.
Hey
Lucas,
guys, greetings from Venezuela.
who is this?
Felix.
Go ahead, Felix.
Hi guys. Can you tell me a little bit the situation about cryptocurrencies in Brazil? The thing is, my brother is in Sao Paulo and we didn't have problems with Binance, but I don't know what happened that over there they are having a lot of troubles with cryptos. So I want to know what is the situation there because we are next to each other. And the situation in Venezuela is quite strange. It's not like Argentina, it's not like any other country, actually. So, yeah, just that. Thank you.
Hello,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Felix, but crypto is not our thing. It's like we are dealing with just with Bitcoin. There's a law here in Brazil that took place last year that's regulating the crypto assets, and now the central bank is going to consult all companies again to build that law. So the market here in Brazil for crypto is very friendly, actually, but you know, and also for Bitcoin as well. There's a lot of people with no problems, trading and doing this. But our thing is not crypto; it's just Bitcoin.
Perfect. Lucas, can you hear me? Do you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
No, I just asked for the mic because I wanted to talk some more about the Fruits for Sat project. But yeah, you can turn off my mic if you want. But if you have any questions, I'm open for talk. Okay. Scott, do you have a question
Sure.
for Praia
Hey
Bitcoin?
guys. Hey Fernando, Eric. Thank you so much. Two quick questions. I'm glad you talked about the community bank. I know we had that conversation, Fernando, and I'm glad to see it's moving forward a little bit. I'm wondering, is that something that is open source? Do you think we could maybe share with other communities that might be interested in pursuing that option to try that concept? So that's one question. And then the other question is around Food for Sats. I know you spoke about the simplicity of the program and continuity and repetition as being key to success. I'm wondering if you've observed other aspects of the program that you think would allow other communities to use that model for other things, if not Food for Sats, then other programs where there's engagement with community organizations, schools, etc. So, do you think that there's a model and that you've developed there that could be adapted elsewhere for other purposes within circular economy? Obrigado.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Scott. So, first question about the Bitcoin Community Bank. I think our implementation, the basis of the Bitcoin Community Bank is already on GitHub. So the implementation that we use to run the tools related with Bitcoin, they are there. You can host it. We use my node, BTC Pay Server, 11 bits, and we collaborate with these teams to help us to implement community needs. So it's totally open source, and the idea is over time to get engaged with the Galloy stack as well, and create we get some technology that are available in the Galloy stack and bring it to other implementations as well. And secondly, is like the tools about how to establish the bank, how to make it happen. The infrastructure needed depends on the legislation of each place. Here in Brazil, we have a specific law that allow us to create the community bank as a community bank and use Bitcoin as a social currency. It's Eric finding, so we are applying the request to opening the community bank using that law. But in other countries and places, maybe you can run the same infrastructure and not call it as a bank. It can be the community, a cooperative or something like that, because it's not actually a bank. As I said, there's a lot of operations that the community bank will never do, as offer loans or leverage its capital or fractional reserves. So the banks are doing this, and the community bank is created to other goals. And replying for the fruits for sets, of course, there's a lot of things that we can do with the same technology and use the same methodology, because after running it for 2 years, and also Lucas can speak a little bit about it, we start by doing it every day. We start to show that what we are doing works, and it's a message inside it, and then you can change their behavior. So if you do any kind of food for the kids every day in their school, they will be educated to maybe choose to eat that food because it's available. So it's powerful. And then when you teach the person to do the simple operation of 10 sats, you are also teaching it how to use Bitcoin, how much 10 sats is, so you can use it to teach Bitcoin and also to get the community united in a cause. So one donor asked me to make the sats for meat. So, how we solved that problem? With Brendan of Bitcoin Uganda, we started to create chickens, and we are going to make the eggs for sets. So it's like it's the same idea, but for protein. So, and also Lucas can speak a little bit, please, Lucas.
Okay. For the first sets, it's been amazing here. We now we have like 200 kids that eating buying fruits with Bitcoin with using boat cards every day. So we have only 200 boat cards. We don't have for the whole school. We have 500 students at the school, but the school started buying a lot of fruits. So today I was in the kitchen because we started doing the all the preparation for the pizza day tomorrow, and they are giving the kids the school, it's improving the fruits on the menu for the kids. So all the kids of this school are also receiving fruits not only from the project but from the school itself. And also the some some parents tell me that the kids now are, they just want to eating fruits every day. So they are talking to the teachers, oh, stop buying fruits for my kids, they just want to they just want to eating fruits right now. So they are really amazing with the fruits. They're eating a lot of kinds of fruits every day, and some of them they are more excited in using Bitcoin as payments than eating the fruits, because at some point some of them will lose their boat cards and they don't want to buy fruits anymore. They are more excited in using Bitcoin than eating fruits. So it's a kind of uh, it's Bitcoin. It's a tool to incentivize them to eating fruits. You know, so yeah, I think they're getting very excited with using the boat cards. Some parents also told me that they are now taking more care with money. They are like, okay, I need to saving money to buy Bitcoin so I can get more fruits at school. So yeah, it's been amazing. The whole community here, it's now it's seeing Bitcoin with good eyes, because we are uh, with this fruits project for a year now. And 1 month ago, they we are on the front page at the local newspaper, like physical one. And before that, we are only on the internet. We are not making a lot of noise here in the local uh, with the fruits project. But after this media, all the parents now are stop me on the street. Oh, it's amazing the project they're doing with the kids. They were at the first, when we send them a notification about the project. Oh, we're doing we asked their permission to start the project as a social experiment using Bitcoin as a payment to provide them fruits every day at school. They don't really understand what it was. Some of them thought that they have to give money for the fruits or they have to buy fruits and give to the school. But now they are uh, come closer to the project, and then, oh, but what is this Bitcoin? How it works? No?
Yes,
So
but I would
changing
like to
their
you
mind
to
about.
talk. I would like to talk. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lucas, about the difficulties to get donations to do it. So this is the main challenge because there's no profit by doing it. It's just a marketing strategy to clean up the image of Bitcoin in the community, benefit the kids, help the people to understand how to use the system. So, how do you think we can solve the problems to be able to generate a model that works for the circular economies?
Yeah, this model for it's been working until now. Now we're facing some problems because we are not getting too much traction and get donations for the Fruits for Sats project. So yeah, we need to find a business model to uh, that this can be sustainable in the long term, right? Because yeah, it's not for just 1 year, but we need to keep teaching Bitcoin and helping these kids for life, for 10 and 20 years or more. If you want to really build a Bitcoin circular economy, and there's no profit in helping kids and buy fruits and sell them for nothing, for 10 sats, and also no profit for Bitcoinize merchants and people on the streets. They don't want to pay to learn about Bitcoin. They don't want to pay to open a wallet or to accepting Bitcoin, because they want to they want to accept Bitcoin. They want to earn the Bitcoin. They don't want to spend their money. We are not in a rich city, so people don't not rich only in the money, but also with education, so they don't really understand the real value of Bitcoin, or the why they should spend their money on Bitcoin. So yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, we are facing some problems with getting donations and are trying to find a new model to make profit out of it, to make it sustainable in the long term.
Yeah, so maybe the community bank can be the solution, but it
Yeah.
needs to be very, very. We need to think a lot. The local laws of Minas Gerais are different of Brazil, of Ceará, so we need to think about it. And also, to establish the bank costs a lot, and also to provide the infrastructure needed to run a custodial Bitcoin community bank. We need some members and some hierarchy to make it happen. And the other business models that we are exploring here now, after reaching the 50% of our crowdfunding milestones, is like make the cultural center, maybe hand some spaces of our property, create more value, and then it's like offering services to provide something back directly from for the community. Maybe it can be a business model, but we are trying to do it now. I don't know if I will be successful because there's a lot of risks by doing this. It's like but anyway, I think if we be successful by getting funds enough to set up circular economy businesses to pay for the community expenses. Maybe Motiv in Peru, they did it and they was successful because in Peru they are doing a lot of good things. But There are a huge chain, NGO in United States. So it's like different than what we have here in Brazil now.
Yeah, I think the natural way to sustain the community in the long term would be naturally the exchange as a community bank and also the transaction fees. I think this is a natural way for to get the profit itself in the inside the community. Another way is to bring it from outside, not from the nations, but for events and for the Bitcoin community. They come in here as a touristic place to spend their sats. And then we charge fees from the tourists, not from the community,
I like that. I like that. Paco, can you thank you guys so much. We usually try to keep this to an hour. We're about 10 minutes over, but I want to just make sure there's not any other urgent questions out there in the audience. But if maybe Paco can wrap it up for us.
Yeah, let us know if there's any question. You can request. Otherwise, this is the last event of the Circular Economy series that we're having every week. Thank you everyone for joining. Next week, we are confirming Bitcoin Ekasi. Probably he's joining us, Herman. We most likely are going to do it earlier because of the time zone, time difference. But we will let you know as soon as we know. So yeah, everyone, thank you so much. Roman, do you want to say something to finish?
No, just let's do the last question that we have here, and we close with this. And great work, guys. We're looking forward to come back, Fernando.
Did we lose Roman?
Nice, Roman. In November, we are going to have the conference, 5 to 7 November.
Who is the last
Perfect.
question, Roman?
I'm allowed him Jupiter. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
I think he's gone. Oh, there it is.
Can you see it?
No, he's gone.
Okay, so I think we
It's
can.
amazing how many issues they still have with Twitter
Yeah.
Spaces.
Yes. Fernando, Lucas, Eric, thank you so much for joining. This was a great conversation. Thank you everyone
Yeah.
for joining.
See you
Thank you
next.
very much.
See you
Yeah,
next.
thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Thank
day,
you,
everyone.
everyone.
And
Bye
make
bye.
sure you
Just
guys are following Praia Bitcoin and supporting them and everything they do.
thank you, Mike, for everything. Roman, Paco, Scott. See you guys. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Adios.